During the same time, the way Americans ate was changing, again.
The number of fast food franchises was exploding as more and more overscheduled Americans began using them as a convenient way to feed themselves and their families.
While the fast food revolution was sweeping the nation, the rate of cancer deaths in America was continuing to rise. As a result, in 1971, President Richard Nixon initiated a program that was dubbed the War on Cancer.
We are here today for the purpose of signing the Cancer Act of 1971. And I hope that in the years ahead, that we may look back on this day and this action as being the most significant action taken during this administration.
On the front lines of this new war was Caldwell Esselstyn. By 1978, he was chairman of the Breast Cancer Task Force at the Cleveland Clinic. Yet he soon began to doubt the medical procedures he was using.
No matter how many of these operations I was doing for women for breast cancer, I wasn't doing one single thing for the next unsuspecting victim.
So Dr. Esselstyn started investigating the global statistics on breast cancer. One of the facts he discovered was that the incidence of breast cancer in Kenya was far lower than it was in the United States.
In fact, in 1978, the chances of a woman getting breast cancer in Kenya were 82 times lower than in the U.S.
Dr. Esselstyn was even more surprised by the numbers he discovered for some other types of cancer.
In the entire nation of Japan in 1958, how many autopsy-proven deaths were there from cancer of the prostate? 18. 18 in the entire nation. That, to me, was about the most mind-boggling public health figure that I think I'd ever encountered.
In the same year, the U.S. population was only about twice the size of Japan's, yet the number of prostate cancer deaths exceeded 14,000. Dr. Esselstyn also discovered that in the early 1970s, the risk for heart disease in rural China was 12 times lower than it was in the U.S. And in the highlands of Papua New Guinea, heart disease was rarely encountered. The link he noted between all the areas he studied was simple.
Virtually, the Western diet was non-existent. They had no animal products. They had no dairy, no meat.
Even more compelling to Esselstyn was some historical data that had long been overlooked. In World War II, the Germans occupied Norway. Among the first things they did was confiscate all the livestock and farm animals to provide supplies for their own troops. So the Norwegians were forced to eat mainly plant-based foods.
Now we look at the deaths in Norway, just antecedent to this period, from heart attack and stroke. 1927, 1930, 35, look right up here, right at the very top, 1939. Bingo! In come the Germans. Immediately, 1940, wow, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Have we ever seen a population have their cardiovascular disease plummet like this from statins, from bypass surgery, or from stents? No. But look what immediately happened. With the cessation of hostilities in 1945, back comes the meat, back comes the dairy, back comes the strokes and heart attacks. I mean, it's such an absolute powerful lesson, but we didn't get it.
Because of evidence like this, Dr.
In a perfect world, you would want it to be as well balanced as you could make it, but the reality is you get what you can, and giving something is certainly more than nothing. And so you just kind of find a little bit of, I guess, reassurance in knowing that you are making a difference, even though it's not perfect. Okay. Give these 3. Are you gonna take them off?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, thank you. Good job on your basketball game.
That's something that's extremely important. The churches and the community groups that do hand out food are doing an incredible service to this country and to the children that are experiencing hunger. But that's just a quick fix. That's for today and tomorrow, maybe for next week. We call it emergency food. It's no longer emergency food. This is called chronic use of a broken system for which people cannot be held accountable.
If people are going to be relying on this food as a significant portion of their food intake over time, then we do need to pay attention to what kind of food are they getting.
Charity is a great thing, but it's not the way to end hunger. We don't fund our Department of Defense through charity, you know. We shouldn't, see that our kids are healthy through charity either. This should be, something that in our country, in America, the richest country in the world, we should, take care of our kids.